All right, here we go. So we're going to be learning tonight sections of 246 and 247 and 252. 246 is about renting and lending to a non-Jew on Erev Shabbos and Shabbos. 247 is about sending letters. And 252 is some more Kablanus discussions, meaning to say contractual work done by a guy who's not a regular worker but is paid by the job. Okay, we're going to start with the Machaber on 246, and then we'll do the Alter Rebbe.
Why do we jump from 47 to 50?
Oh, because in between it's not about Amir Lenachri. We're learning about Amir Lenachri, which is about telling Jews to non-Jews to work for us. 248 is about cruising on Shabbos. Very important halachas, especially for cruising, especially for people that go on cruises. 249 is about Malach on Erev Shabbos. 250 is also preparing for Shabbos, different things, but it's not about Amir Lenachri. Amir Lenachri is actually spread throughout Hilchos Shabbos. It's not concentrated in one place. So that's why we're jumping around.
Why is it?
Well, the reason is because the Hilchos Shabbos was put into an order of time, like what to do on Friday, what to do on night, Shabbos morning. So it comes up in various parts of Hilchos Shabbos because of that, not all bunched together. All right, so here we are in 246, which, as I said, going in order of Erev Shabbos to Shabbos. This is still the halachas of Erev Shabbos. Reish Mem Rav, Seif Aleph. Reish Mem Rav, Seif Aleph. Seif Aleph. We just start Reish Mem Rav Aleph and Mechaber. Sure. What do I shall? The Lahafter, Kira Demi Ruby, Alpha Pisho Islam Malacha B'Shabbos. Maybe you could put yourself on mute unless you have a question, because there's a Christmas song coming through. Thank you. Even though the goy will do work with your stuff on Shabbos, we are not commanded to have our kelim work. Okay, this is a very important concept. We are commanded to not work on Shabbos. We are commanded to not tell our children to work on Shabbos. We're commanded to not tell goyim to work on Shabbos. Certainly our slaves, but midrabanan even goyim. We're commanded to not have our animals work on Shabbos. We're not commanded to have our stuff not work on Shabbos. Our non-animate objects, our inanimate objects.
Like stuff, it's a pot or
Exactly. Machinery, pots, printers, computers, websites.
Wouldn't we fall into the Morazain?
No?
you can make it a tane. Right away, it's the
I'm
pot.
talking about things that they're doing on their own. Yeah, Shabbos clock is another question. Timers is another question.
Like somebody cutting, you have a machine, grass cutter.
Grass cutter without a person? I haven't
No,
seen
there's
it.
not.
Yeah, no.
No, I'm talking without any
They
people.
do have without a person. Have like, those
Anyway,
containers that-
If it's without a person, people will see it's without a person.
like
Oh, the Roomba, yeah.
They have
Okay.
now for the grass.
I heard about that, yeah.
But it's not going to take itself out of the garage. I mean, you have to get it started.
No, you leave it there,
Pump in the
it
pool.
goes, it hits, and then goes, it cuts and goes back every time.
Oh, really? You don't have to tell it?
You
Wow.
set up a,
It's sensors.
Wow. Okay.
It's
it's
like
like a vacuum cleaner or something.
Right.
the Roomba.
A new world.
I saw a robot machine
Yeah.
in Richmond, Virginia.
Yeah.
That goes and fetches what they need for the manufacturing line and it knows when it needs to be charged, and it goes back to the charging station.
Nice.
It's amazing. And it knows to wait for another one.
If there's one
There's
in the way.
an obstruction, it knows to wait like a traffic light.
Cool.
Amazing, huh?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
So the point is,
Full pump goes on by itself.
right, yes, exactly. The point is that when you rent or lend your kalim to a non-Jew, he's going to use them on Shabbos. Now, if it would be an animal, you would not be allowed to do that because you're the owner and your animal's working on Shabbos. Even though the guy is the one making it work, but it still belongs to you, that's a problem. We're not going to learn that section because most of us don't have animals that work. I mean, people have pets, but we don't really have oxen that plow.
Shabbat, you have to rest, abdecha, shofar.
Exactly. But kelecha is not included. Yesh omrim, some say the kelim shoisim behem malach. Kelim with which one does work. Kagoin machresha, for example, a plow, uchayotzeba, and similar things. Also, lahaskeleni yudi be'erev Shabbos. You're not allowed to rent to a non-Jew on Erev Shabbos. V'yem hachamishi mutar lahaskeloi, on Thursday you're allowed to. For sure, Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, and Sunday, but only Friday not. Why? The reason is because the Jew benefits from the goy working on Shabbos, because otherwise he wouldn't be paying the same amount of rent. So therefore, if he rents it to him on Friday and the guy who uses it on Shabbos, it's so close that it looks like there's some kind of benefit to the Jew. Even though absolutely it has to include Sunday, we're going to see in a minute. But even though it includes Sunday, which is a Schar Shabbos issue, the fact that you can't benefit financially from Shabbos, but nevertheless, it's a Maras Ayin issue, that the guy is going to work, the Jew is going to benefit, and it's going to look like he told him to do it because he rented to him on Friday. This is the Machlekes Rishonim. The Rambam and the Rif do not hold of this problem. Renting out machinery or any other kalim that is used for work on Friday.
But you don't know who's about that, right?
Talking about a Jew renting out to a goy on Friday, something that is used for work.
But we don't know the goy, we don't know the tools. If the tools and the dime should go, we don't know who is that, what that.
We know that he's renting and he's paying for it. Obviously, he wants to use it.
You know, all the goys and the Jewish land? No.
Nothing to do with Jewish land. He's renting it. He's going to use it. Presumably, he's paying money. He's going to use it.
But he's not coming to next to the synagogue.
Nothing to do with the synagogue. Nothing to do with the synagogue. The fact that he's renting it on Friday and he's going to use it on Shabbos, and you are benefiting from that use because he's renting from you. So Rabbeinu Yonah, this is the second opinion, the Mechaber says, Rabbeinu Yonah holds that that's Maras Ayin.
Also, if he's going to a different city.
Nothing to do wherever he is. Wherever he is. Makes a difference. That makes a difference.
So what's that?
Makes a difference. You don't know where he's going.
No, if he's
You don't know where he's going. He's a guy. You're going to trust him where he's going. You're renting to him.
It's a work.
even if you rent if you rent it to him outside of the
He could go wherever he wants. It's not a.
And this is how do you know he's going to use it on Shabbos?
Presumably, because he's renting it per day. Presumably, if he's renting it on
The
Friday.
Havamina is that we let him, we gave it to him on Shabbos?
No, the Havamina is because he is working and you're benefiting, and it's soon after you gave it to him. It's going to look like you told him to, or he's your shaliach.
Only because of you.
Isn't it a normal
thing you told him? But basically, if he has a tools by himself, he has the same tools like yours.
It's absolutely normal to rent out tools, no question about it. And we're not saying it's Maras Ayin because people will see him using your tool, because you're allowed to do it on any other day of the week. You can do it Sunday through Thursday. It's because they see that you rented it to him on Friday and he's working on Shabbos and they know that you're benefiting from it. So
It's more of a direct link.
More of a direct link.
He's renting on Thursday, it's perfectly fine that you use it on Shabbos.
Yes.
They say that, it's like Thursday.
We just read that. V'yom ha'chamishi mutar la'askala. On Thursday.
Because he's working on your property.
Ishman Vav. No, not your property.
Not
It's your property, you can't let him work even, no matter
his
what.
tools.
No matter. His tools?
Because it's your property,
His tools for you.
If
If it's his tools for you.
No, his tools is coming with the landscape. Please come to my property.
For you.
Yeah, for me. So I don't let him do that.
Correct. Now, when it comes to getting paid for the rental, you cannot get paid for Shabbos separately. It has to be b'havla. It has to be swallowed up. It means you rent it to him for the week or for a unit of 3 days or at least 2 days.
Thursday to Thursday.
But not for Shabbos only, or not even Shabbos specifically. You can't say, okay, Shabbos, you're going to pay me. For Shabbos, you're going to pay me this. For Sunday, you're going to pay me that. For Monday, you can't do that. Now, if you...
What's the word that you did?
Havla. Havla literally means to be swallowed. Meaning to say it should be included. It should be included in other payment. Now, Lamaisa, like I said, nowadays in the secular society we're in, we don't go by Jewish days. So you're renting maybe Friday, Saturday, Saturday includes Motzei Shabbos, whatever. So practically this is usually, even if you rent by the day, practically Shabbos is going to be included.
Is it weekend rental?
The weekend, whatever, although I did come across, okay, that's a separate issue. Because there's two issues here. There's the Friday Marasayan issue, which not everybody holds up, only Rabbeinu Yoina. It's the second opinion of the Mechaber, not the first opinion. And then there's Chashavos, which everybody holds up. I did come across a situation that the Dirshu brings down. What if it's a Shabbos and a Yontif consecutive? Normally we say, okay, you're going to rent it to him for even if it's a rental agreement that is per day, but Shabbos includes Motzei Shabbos till 12 a.m. let's say, and Friday includes Friday day and Friday night or whatever. But here, Shabbos goes into Yontif, or Yontif into Shabbos, 2 days Yontif, or whatever. 2 days Yontif, I don't know, because really it's either one or the other, but whatever. Let's talk about Shabbos and Yontif. So they don't have a clear head there.
But if he said
What would be the
Let's say you're renting out. Let's say you're renting out a car. You have a car rental, and you rent per day. Let's say. So normally you rent per day. The Schar Shabbos is not going to be an issue if your days is from 12 a.m. to 11:59 p.m. Because Friday is going to include part of Shabbos and Saturday is going to include part of Motzei Shabbos. But if it's a Yom Tov on Sunday, so that Saturday is Shabbos and Yom Tov together. You know what I'm saying? There's no time that is any havla. How do you have a day that is how are you charging for that Saturday if it's completely a Shabbos and Yom Tov?
Why is the problem not Yom Tov?
Huh?
So is there a problem? What's the?
You can't take Schar Shabbos, you can't take Schar Yom Tov either. Same.
So who
That's
rents?
what I'm saying. So how do you do it?
Who?
In such a case, it seems like you
Because
can't do
the entire day is back to back.
exactly. There is no time. Exactly. There is no time that you're allowed to charge for. So in that case, it would seem like you have to make a different sort of contract with them. You have to make a 2-day contract instead of or whatever.
Is nivla b'toch a week.
Exactly. Correct. Exactly.
But Rabbi, now the Orthodox rent a car for a week, and you got Shabbat and a Yom Tov. He's paying only for 1 day, and for all the week when he's driving only one day in that week.
What's your question?
We're talking about here. For you renting for the goy.
Don't renting to a guy.
For goy, not for Jew.
A Jew is renting from a guy. He can negotiate whatever he wants. I'm talking about a Jew renting to a guy. Okay. Well, the hashul mutar filo b'erev Shabbos. Now, to lend it to him is mutar even erev Shabbos, because you're not benefiting financially from his working on Shabbos. So it does not look like he's working for you. The Ramah paskins like Rabbeinu Yoina, not like the Rambam and the Rif. The Machaber appears to be paskin like the Rambam and the Rif, because he quotes them first. And the second opinion is only a Yesh Under. The Ramah is paskining like Rabbeinu Yoina. Now the Ramah adds, you're allowed to lend it to him on Erev Shabbos, even though he makes a condition that the goy is going to lend it to lend something else back to him. Even though the Jew is going to benefit, but because it's not an immediate, self-evident benefit, so therefore it is mutter. Okay, I'm going to go through the rest of the Machaber before I go over to the Alter Rebbe.
That's a question on that.
Yes.
According to the Yesh Omer, does it mean malacha like planting and screw driving and stuff like that, or does it mean like a car?
Sorry? Yeah. Yeah.
Is that also talking about anything that you can actually causes malacha, like a car?
Oh, I was actually wondering about that, and I couldn't find it discussed clearly. But my understanding of it is, it's not just that it's used for malacha, but it's something that is used for financial benefit. You understand? So if a car that he drives, it's a plow. Plow, exactly. So he's plowing and he's doing work, and you're benefiting from that work. So there's a financial component, even though you're not. I mean,
I don't think it's all the time just talking about financial gain. Meaning, if I lend someone a hammer,
lending is no problem according to this opinion anyway.
correct. If I gave them a hammer,
If you rent them your only rental. Rental is the only issue. The question is a car rental. That's the question. Where the goy is not making any money off it. He's paying you, and he's doing a malacha with a car, but he is not working with the car. You understand? He's just driving. You understand? There's no financial gain from that car.
let's say TV.
Right, exactly. Another example. There's a malacha, but there's no financial benefit to the guy. It's not.
The see financial benefit.
That's the Marasai. He's working. It may appear that he's working for you because you're benefiting financially. That's why it's only applying to rental, not to lending.
Even in a car, a person can be driving.
Most people, I mean, unless it's an Uber driver maybe. Listen, an Uber driver or a delivery guy.
Driving itself is making you money. It can't be that I rented him my car, and people will say, "Oh, he must have given him his car for him to do work for him."
Yeah, but most people drive cars. They don't make money from driving the cars.
Yeah,
Some people do, but most people don't. I'm saying, why are you thinking he's going to dafka think that? You understand? What a machreisha is, people work with it. People do work with it. They make money with it. So he's making money. They're going to think that that you told him to do that for you and so on. But if it's not a thing that is normally done for making money, even though you are making money from it, but I don't think there's the Maris Ayin component that people don't think that he's doing it for you.
I just saw the Mishnah Berurah, you're right.
Yes. Yeah, that's not about. Kedera, that's an interesting point.
I don't know. Sounds like what's it called? Sounds like Caleb, like regular old Caleb.
Kedera is a good point.
Talis, things that mamish are not malacha. Like that, like he's she'ain oimed lasot b'malacha. The mutter lasfilo afilu be'erev Shabbos.
I hear you. I just don't know how to reconcile this with car rentals. Does this mean a Jew cannot rent a car out to a goy on Friday, according to the Ramah? That's the halacha for Ashkenazim. But that's why I was trying to think of that.
Yeah, it sounds like Avla would work.
No,
Avla wouldn't work.
that's a separate issue. Schar Shabbos
Oh,
is a
Erev
separate issue.
Shabbos, Erev Shabbos. That's
Erev
not-
Shabbos. All right.
That's the issue. You can still get inspired.
All right, I'm not sure.
So it would only be an Ashkenazi renting something, not giving, and it has to be, what's the third condition?
On Friday.
Right, Erev Shabbat. And if it was any time before, what's Erev Shabbat, by the way? After Chatzos or
No,
anytime Friday nights?
Friday. I don't know if it's Thursday night or not. I don't
So
know.
if you have a business of
Friday
renting
for sure.
stores, you have to be closed on Friday.
Closed for Gentiles, open for Jews, from Jews,
Put a sign.
from Jews. So it would seem. Okay. Also, we're up to base. You're not allowed to lend any kli to a Gentile on Shabbos. We're going to see why in a moment. I feel about Shabbos, even Erev Shabbos, if it's close to dark, unless there's time for him to leave your door before dark. Because it will look to somebody who is watching that the Jew told him to carry it. He's carrying on Shabbos out of the Jew's possession, out of the Jew's domain. Something that used to belong to the Jew, or maybe even still belongs to the Jew.
What we cannot say? We don't
One
use-
second. So it looks like he's telling him to do the malacha of carrying. That is the issue. Yes.
Why we not say this rental is, and we know the Jew is rental, he will not say to any goy to carry because he's rental. Period. It's like example for
Doesn't make a difference. A Gentile cannot leave a Jew's possession, on a Jew's domain on Shabbos, with something that belongs to the Jew.
not on Shabbat. I agree with
I'm
you.
talking about on Shabbos or Erev Shabbos, unless there's time for him to walk out before Shabbos. Otherwise, it looks like he told him to carry on Shabbos.
If the warehouse open, so it's meaning it's not Shabbat yet. Otherwise, if the
We're not
warehouse,
talking, this is not talking about a warehouse. This is talking about your neighbor comes over. There's no Eruv. Your neighbor comes over and says, "Can I borrow a chair? Can I borrow a chair?"
because no
You want to
room-
be a good
because
neighbor,
no room.
but you have to say, "No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry."
What's happening if you have a room? You allowed to give it to him?
If there's an Eruv, then
Chair. I think it's
Then-
right?
think about it for a moment. If there's an Eruv, then according to the Mechaber, yes.
Because another Jew can.
According to the Mechaber, yes. According to the Ramah, according to the Magen Avram, a chair, yes. But something that there are some cases you can't.
Rabbi,
I have to think
I
about
come to
it.
you.
Think about it for a moment. In some cases, you cannot, and that is if it's a long-term loan, like something you're lending for more than 30 days. Then you cannot, according to the Magen Avram. We're going to see. The other is going to explain.
I'm a Jew, and I'm coming knocking on your door, and the rabbi talk. I'm missing a chair when there's a roof on the neighbor. I'm missing a chair for the guest.
Is an
It's
Eruv?
okay.
What's the problem?
Right.
It's an Eruv, what's the
So
problem?
also the going for the chair, it's okay.
If there's no Eruv, it's not okay.
If it's no room.
If there's
Also,
no
Jew
Eruv.
cannot do that, Rabbi, if it's no room.
Yeah, but a goy doesn't have to keep Shabbos. That's the difference.
Let's say
The Jew has to keep Shabbos. The
Yeah.
goy doesn't have to keep Shabbos. Nevertheless, because it will look like you told him to carry it on Shabbos, you can't lend him on Shabbos. So,
Okay. If it's coming from your home, and it's no roof on Shabbat, then it's the Marad item.
exactly.
Yes. Okay.
And this does not apply, by the way, if it's the goy's actual property. Let's say the guy lent you his chair, and he comes to pick it up on Shabbos morning. B'vakasha. You can let him take it. You just cannot hand it to him. You cannot hand it to him. He has to take it himself.
Why is that okay?
Why? But
It's his chair.
the person,
How do you know?
the person
I
that
see-
would see the Marzion, it's
That's it.
It's his chair. Well, who said it's your chair? It's your chair. People will see. It's your chair. You probably told them.
I go in the
But if it's his own
synagogue.
chair,
I go in the synagogue and I see about 500 feet a guy taking a chair from the Jewish house. I don't think it is his
so
chair.
ask.
But I know why.
No Marasai. Not if it's the goy's chair. Any property of the goy, there's no Marasai.
How I know?
If you're not sure, ask.
Go over there and ask.
No.
It's because they weren't goes on, right?
Yeah, the whole thing is not a sure thing. You understand? Even if it's the Jew's chair, it's not clear that he told you to carry it. Maybe he's carrying it for himself. You didn't tell him to. You said if you want it, you can take it. You understand? So if it's a guy's chair where there's a good possibility that you'll realize it's the guy's chair.
So
They didn't
any
agree.
chair coming from this house and it's no Yoruba, I go check if it's a Jewish chair or go check.
If you want, you can check, yes. Also, lahaskir oy lahashel behemteleni yodi. Desh yasaba malacha b'Shabbos. Oh, excuse me, we're stopping there. We're not doing that. All right, Rabbi Isai, Alter Rebbe, 246. Here we go. Yes, Reish Mem Vav. Mutter lahashel kelim laskim l'nochav b'shanach yisavem malacha b'Shabbos neishenu mitzvah shvisas kelim shalonu. Shelo yasavem malacha b'Shabbos. Oy shelo te'asavem malacha b'Shabbos me'elak, which is Rebbe's simulation on days. It is permissible to lend and rent out articles to a non-Jew. The non-Jew will perform work with them on Shabbos, for we are not commanded that our articles must rest on Shabbos, i.e. that a non-Jew not perform forbidden labor with them on Shabbos, or that forbidden work not be performed with them as a matter of course on Shabbos, we've said in section 252. Again?
Yes.
When he gets paid, he can only get paid b'havla'ah. Going, for example, in his kalil l'shavua or l'chodesh, if he rented it them for a week or a month, he's allowed to take the payment. Even though schar Shabbos is included in it, however, in his care, if he rented it to him for different days, for each and every day, so there's a specific amount for every day, even though he's going to get paid at once. But he's getting paid for each day separately. So then there's a problem. Then he cannot take pay for Shabbos. And this has nothing to do with malacha. Even if you're renting him a pillow, you cannot get paid for schar Shabbos. Even if you're renting him a place to sleep, you're giving him a hotel room, a bed and breakfast, what do they call those places? Airbnb. You cannot charge him for Shabbos separately. Okay? You cannot itemize the bill day per day.
So over drachim, goy, knock in a hotel for a Jewish hotel on Shabbat. You tell him you cannot come in or
On Shabbos, you can't do transactions anyway. But even on Friday, you cannot charge him for Shabbos separately. You have to charge him for Shabbos together with part of the week.
well, he's coming on Friday, let's say before Shabbat.
So usually it's Friday includes Friday, Shabbos includes Motzei Shabbos, like I said before.
Yeah, before.
But there are some cases that it might be problematic, like we said before. If Yom Tov is on Sunday, then you're going to have a problem.
Everything are usually check in and check out, right? And we'll check in before Shabbos.
Usually, yeah, presumably. Yeah.
So the person rented on Friday, Saturday, you'll see Friday night, and Airbnb, it's fine, right?
Yeah, should be okay. Yesh Omrim. Some say beis shehakelim shoysim malacha, kelim with which malacha is done. For example, a mill in a place that is mutter to rent to a guy if there's no maris ayin because it's something that is normal to rent out or whatever. or a plow or any other tools used by craftsmen. Also, you're not allowed to rent them out to a goy on Erev Shabbos. Why? Listen carefully. Since there is benefit to the Jew, from the fact that the kelim are rented out to the goy on Shabbos also, it's known, even if you're renting it to him for a week or a month. If he would lend it to him and he would say, listen here, you cannot use it on Shabbos, obviously the guy would pay less. Can't use it on Shabbos. I'm not going to pay you as much. So therefore, now he has permission to use it on Shabbos. So the guy is benefiting from the fact that the guy has permission to use it on Shabbos. Therefore, when the guy does malacha b'Shabbos, samuch leyom she'eskim, like close to the day that he rented it to him, so it looks like he's doing it b'shlichus Yisrael shetzivahu lasis b'Shabbos, that he commanded him to do it on Shabbos. When he rented it to him yesterday.
Basically, the restriction is going to be if the use are going to be renting it on Friday. Like if you're renting it already on Wednesday for a week or for a month, so there's no fashion.
Wednesday is no problem. Thursday is no problem.
Only Friday.
Only Friday. Correct.
We don't have it.
Sorry?
This don't Easter because it's on Friday.
Correct. Correct. That's correct.
Any Arab Yom also the same thing.
I believe so, yeah. I believe so. All of these Isurim are the same for Shabbos and Yom Tov, unless otherwise stated.
It says here, that there's a specifically halacha that's done to get out of kli, but if it's a kli that's going to be doing your problem, it's better. Came on the little mixay, rack it right there, I'll shvut to shvut.
Right. Yeah, I saw that somewhere also, yeah. Right, so maybe a TV. Yeah, something like that, yeah. Sorry?
Trying to make it practical things, but I guess electricity would be one practical.
Yeah. It's a strange thing when it comes to the Kedera. Just going back to that Mishnah Berurah. Because what does he think? I mean, he's actually cooking for the Jew. I mean, it's Bishal Akum.
Another issue already.
What does he think? I mean, presumably the guy's not cooking like a catering company. Like he's not making money off it. So he's cooking for himself. Someone's going to see that he's cooking for himself. They're going to think, no, he's really cooking with the Jew. What does the Jew need it for? I don't understand.
Rabbi, the fire is already from Friday. It's light up.
Sorry?
So it's not the shul, right?
No, it's warming it up.
He thinks that the guy has a fire in his kitchen from Friday for the Jew.
No,
I mean, it's possible, but that's like such a remote Maris Ayin.
He's quoting the Gemara. I don't know if Gemara, it's in Shabbos Hilchos on the base.
No comments from our online students here? My computer is very quiet today. Shabbos.
לשמוע את הברכה.
Shalom from Yerushalayim, Shkoyach. Trying to understand why the Kedera, it would look that he's doing something for the Jew, when the Jew can't eat from the Kedera of a Goy anyway.
Because we said that when Goy he's cooking for Ole, we cannot benefit. Shema, he will cook extra again next week.
Rabbi, it's like he's quoting the Pri Megadim.
Who is?
What he quoted was the Pri Megadim, the Shabbat, and then the note here brings Ayin Bagamar. But the source of it is the Pri Megadim. I can show you the Maramah. It's funny because the end of the sentence is going, it's really your problem. In the case of a pot, what kind of shliach would you possibly make?
You need to use the
When you make the Ram Shabbat,
all time.
What?
when he cook for himself on Shabbat,
The Goy is cooking.
or Goy cook for himself on Shabbat. That's the question.
And the pot that the Jew rented to him.
Regarding the pot,
Which Pri Megadim? Which Pri Megadim?
It says Mem Shin Zayin.
Mishpat Soy Zav Aleph, okay.
What is Mem Shin Zayin?
Mishpat Soy Zav. Gigis Lefi Kukri. Sorry.
You have to be, your hand has to be on.
Yeah, you have to offer.
In order to use
Actually, we're asking about if it's not the Yeshuva. I see it's not Pashut here. This Pri Megadim says, even Hador beYishuv chashosha b'nei Beisa yesh kahagavna, lo be'ein b'nei Beisa etzlei. Sounds like he's saying if you live in a place that there are no other Jews and your Bnei Bayis are not with you, that you could. It sounds like he's saying you could rent to the Goy on Friday. It sounds like, yeah, because nobody's here now. I mean, and wherever he goes, they don't know what happened on Friday. Takes it somewhere else. I don't know that you rented it on Friday. But interestingly, he actually doesn't say Kedera. He says, Mukom Mokaim, Lefir bin Yena Lav Davka Machareshu Hu Adin Gigis. Rakcholok Vitalis Shari. Cholok Vitalis Shari. He doesn't specifically say Gigis, Kedera.
On the same issue, no. Two different levels. You have to continue operating the whole time. Gig is just something you do. You don't have to do no malacha. This is the gig.
No, when you make the beer, it's a malacha.
Fine.
The beer.
Yeah, but the gig itself, it's not like.
Doesn't make a difference. That's the chiddush. Even though it's not the same as the machresha that you actually. I understand. Even though the gig is just holding the beer, it's not. That's the chiddush. That's what he's saying.
We don't know about. We don't allow to eat from goy because Shema
Yeah, correct.
So.
Okay, this is something that has to be understood. Something that has to be understood. Okay. Let's continue. Gimel. But to lend to him kelim with which malacha is done is mutter even of Shabbos near nightfall. Since the Jew does not benefit from the fact that the goy is allowed to work with it on Shabbos, it's not. It doesn't look like he's doing his shlichus. Even if he is lending it to him on condition that the Jew, the goy, should lend him something else after Shabbos. So the Jew is benefiting from the fact that he will borrow something back. It's the barter system. Because he's not actually getting specific payment. It's more of a, I'll pay you back one day, whatever, but he's not getting anything concrete at that moment, so it doesn't, the chamanat goes on. Okay, now we come to the issue of lending in a way that he's going to carry it on Shabbos. Also, says the Alter Rebbe Dalet. You're not allowed to lend anything on Shabbos to a goy. Shum chayfetz, any object, whether it's used for work or not, whether it's a long-term or a short-term loan. Why? Afilu be'erev Shabbos, even on erev Shabbos, not just on Shabbos. If it's close to dark so much so, to the extent that he doesn't have time to carry it out while it's still day. Also, lend it to him because of Maras Ayin. Because he sees him going out of the Jewish house. And he sees that it's the Jew's object. They were asking before about it, it's not the Jew's object. That's the whole point. Because he sees it's the Jew's object, and he knows that it's a Jew's object, that's what creates the Maras Ayin. It wouldn't be the Jew's object, or he wouldn't know that it's the Jew's object, it wouldn't be Maras Ayin. I'm just saying what the Alter was saying. People will think, see, this Jew is sending his stuff. He's sending the goy with his chair. Because somebody needs the chair, he must have gotten the goy to carry it for him. Understand? That's the problem. So it's only shayach. The whole thing is only shayach if it's a Jew's chayfetz. It's not going to occur to him that he actually is just lending it to him. The goy is carrying for himself. Even a city that does not have Rosh Hashanah. So not just that the street in front of his house is not a Rosh Hashanah. The whole city does not have a Rosh Hashanah, rather a Carmelis. Depending on the opinions of what Rosh Hashanah is, Carmelis, whatever it is, no big street enough that it is.
אם סעיף ג' רוצה, אבל להשאיר לו כלים שעושים בהם מלאכה מותר. סעיף ד' אסור להשאיר שום חפץ במקום בשבת.
בשבס, ג' זה ערב שבס, this is בשבס.
אבל אפילו בערב שבת.
אם הוא שם על חשך כל כך. אם הוא שם על חשך כל כך. Dalit is talking about either on Shabbos or like a minute before Shabbos is over. Exactly. You can't do it as the sun is setting. You see the sun going down as it's setting. So, the truth is, we're going to see more later.
And you'll have to put it outside on the porch and you will pick it up.
Your porch is your reshus. Your porch is still your reshus. Wow. Porch is not allowed.
You're not carrying from your house to the porch because it's not under the earth. So
The porch is not under the air? The porch is not under the air?
It's not like under your building. Sometimes the porch is, outside the doorpost,
So you're saying the porch is somewhere you're not allowed to carry from your house?
You don't carry. If you don't use the earth, you don't carry this out.
Yeah, I guess. If it's already outside your house, I don't see why not.
If also then we can't put it like mail, that's.
Oh, what about mail that's being picked up?
Good Friday, Erev Shabbos.
In a place without an Erev, I don't believe you can put mail in your box for the mailman to take. Because you're kind of telling him to take it, pretty much.
As I thought of it, I can.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Even though a Carmelist has no Torah violation to carry from a Truss Yachid, nevertheless, since Midrabanan, you cannot have a goy carry for you if it's not for a mitzvah, we're going to see, and Kenyach should do Shur Evil the Sefer. It'll be choishish that he's over on a Derabanan. Very interesting.
What's this for example?
A mitzvah.
He's going against
Cook for a chole?
No, it's not going against behavior.
What does it say? When Choshes that you're doing this for a bond?
Choishish you're doing this at Rabbanan. I'll get to what you're asking in a minute. One more time, what?
Example for mitzvah. For chole, to cook?
Choile is a separate header. Choile is a separate header. For a shvus to shvus, you're allowed to have a goy do it b'makam mitzvah. So let's say you need something in shul, and there's no Erev, and it's only a Carmelis, and the thing you need in shul is for a mitzvah. You need to read the Sefer Torah. The Sefer Torah is possible. You need a Sefer Torah in shul. You have one in your house. And there's only a Carmelis in between, not a Rosh Hashanah. Tell a goy, and he carries the Sefer Torah, so you can read.
So you can take out some knife for bris.
Bakasha, of course.
It's also for
If it's not a Rosh Hashanah. I'm talking if it's only a Carmelis. So you're asking for Rabbi Akiva Eger.
Maybe I probably don't understand what those.
You're asking why over here are we saying it's usher because he'll think you're being under Rabbanon. Rabbi Akiva Eger says that kelim she'oitzim b'mochel nefesh, if it's only being used for things not echel nefesh, sorry. She'oitzim b'malacha, if it's only going to be nisr Rabbanon, there is no isser. So you're asking what's the difference? It'll be choishish that he told you hired him to do this at Rabbanan.
What was the case? What was that? What was the thing they went down? Sign John?
Here?
Yeah.
Here's not being lent out. Here he's carrying. And he's carrying through a Carmelish, which is Darban. See, I'm not giving a clear answer because I'm not sure, but there is a difference clearly. Because over here, he's walking out of your house with your object, and it looks like you told him to do it, right? So it's a much more close thing. Over there, on Friday, you rented it to him, and because it's a rental, it's a financial benefit, and people see him working, and they think, oh, told you to do it. You understand? It's like it's a much further Marasayan, to the extent that the Rambam and the Rif don't even hold him. You know what I'm saying? So maybe since it's a more distant Marasayan, they didn't do it by a Darabana. Even though you could say, well, how does Bekivega know? I'm sure he has a marker for it. You know what I'm saying? Because we do have the concept of Marasayan and Darabana like we see here, and in other places. We have it in Basabachala also. We have different examples of it. So I'm sure he has a marker for it. But it's not the same level Marasayan.
So only the Rabbanan is Chimir.
No, Hichmiru afilu b'marit ayim edrabanan. Afilu im choshvim shehu over l'sedrabanan gam al ze hichmiru. Okay. Alva ber mereva shemut l'tal b'sech mut l'ashila. Hey, alter Rebbe, hey. Alva ber mereves. If the city has an eruv, shemut l'tal b'seicha, in which you're allowed to carry, filu Shabbos, even in Shabbos. Sorry, mutla shil for Shabbos. You're allowed to lend it to him even on Shabbos. You're a good neighbor.
Like in America?
Wherever you are.
I mean, this is here, right?
Yeah, here too, if there's an Erev. Now notice, he says, the Goy has to live in the Erev. Find out where he lives, make sure it's in the Erev. Inyan she'in lochos l'marsayin shel harei oisa yotze b'beis shel Yisrael k'dresh l'rocha kol kach mevakom she'en amorav b'inyan shel harei oisa yotze b'beis shel Yisrael and harei kashu yotze l'makom she'en amorav. Either the guy has to live in an Erev, or his house is so far that nobody's going to see where it is because it's out of seeing distance from your house. It shouldn't be that somebody can see from your house how he's walking out of the Erev. That shouldn't be. Now, this is all talking about on Shabbos. You understand? What we said before is that you can't lend it to him right before Shabbos in such a way he's going to literally carry it out of your house on Shabbos. You don't have to make sure he's able to get to his house. He's already out. He's in the street when Shabbos comes. That's no issue for you. But here on Shabbos, he's leaving your house on Shabbos, and people see him walking past the Erev within sight of your house. They might think that you sent them on a job for you.
So my neighbor is a guy, and Friday come to me, he wanted the landscape. So I can borrow him, I can give it to him. This is exactly what he said, right? Or I have to be the three blocks from me, so nobody can see it.
Actually, here he doesn't specifically mention kalim that are used for malach. He's talking about lending anything. The issue here is the carrying issue.
Okay.
You're asking something else. What if you're lending him something that is used for malach?
Now,
according to Rabbeinu Yoina, there's no question. You can't do it on Friday. You for sure can't do it on Shabbos. What about according to the Rambam and the Rif, that on Friday you're allowed to? Actually, no. Even according to Rabbeinu Yoina, you're allowed to lend it. You can't rent it, but you're allowed to lend it.
lend it is different on the home.
I know you know if you can lend it or rent it. How are you going to do this if I am maritime?
Hashem knows.
No, it's not about Hashem. By rental, because people know that you're making money, that is what contributes to the Marsai. The Goy pays you. You probably asked him to work for you. You understand? If they don't see him paying you, that's the whole point. They don't know, so they're not going to have Marsai. If they pay you, that's what we think is Marsai.
Cutting his own grass. What I'm gaining by that.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe it's more.
Let's say if you're renting it to someone that they're using it to his own place, like what part I?
This is a general question. Are you allowed to let a guy use your kalim on Shabbos, not from before Shabbos, use your kelim on Shabbos to do his own work. Your maid, your live-in maid, wants to go to the store to buy some stuff. Can I take your car? Fair question. Why not? Because the car is Marseille, you're saying. The car
My
may be
car,
more so.
yes, everybody has a
The car more so. But what about the
Driving on Shabbat.
what
The
about
next day I'm out.
what about the sewing machine? Washing machine. I mean, the washing machine makes noise. There's a lot of issues.
I cannot give him my car because it's a big sign over there that said, a Jewish driving. Because this is not. But yeah, if I have a private, I mean, also they know the private.
אף אחד שאתה מוכר, הוא יתקשר.
No, לא מוכר את האוטו.
חוק האוטו.
המייד, הכלי, לא.
זה למחוק את הבן שלך, תוריד את השלט.
יש מדבקה, זה לא.
תוריד את המדבקה.
כמובן, זה עולה $150. ותכנות האש.
לא יודע שמה שאתה קשר.
עכשיו הזכרת לי, כי אם אני משאיר אותו הרבה זמן, הוא נדבק חזק וקשה להוציא אותו.
Why is this a question?
We didn't discuss clearly if it's something that's used for malacha, if you're allowed to lend it to them on Shabbos.
Of course we did, it's keilah.
Sorry?
So, mutar lahashu lahaskir keilah. Why would that be keilah malacha?
Maybe it is. It just didn't say clearly.
If you say kilim, it's any kilim. He doesn't say any kilim, right? He didn't. If it's a kilim, it's any kilim.
ואפילו כלים שעושים מהם מלאכה.
Where?
First, I guess.
Which number? Gimel?
No, כלים שעושים מהם מלאכה.
Gimel, which one?
איפה? Mishnah Berurah Gimel?
Mishnah Berurah Aleph.
That's Erev Shabbos.
Free?
What?
אף על פי שהנוצרי עושה בהם מלאכה?
One on Shabbos. One on Shabbos.
This is not Shabbat. Aleph is not Shabbat.
Also, Lacha Bet was talking about.
V'im kain, here's the Mishnah Berurah test. Rabbi says, here's the Mishnah Berurah test. V'im kain, im ha'ir mukefes chayma, t'mutul tatav kula. V'im Yehudi gam ken dar shama, shor lashila kelim she'ein oitzim malacha b'hem. And you can't lend them anything that you do malacha with on Shabbos. All right?
So you can't remember.
Here it is. Tishma. V'im kelim she'oitzim b'hem malacha, afilu lahashila yasur. You cannot lend a thing that is used for malacha on Shabbos, because then people think it's a
The
shlichus.
neighbor also.
People think it's a shlichus.
On Friday it's okay, Rabbi?
On Friday, lending, yes, no problem.
Right, you gotta lend your car out to a Jew on Shabbos.
Only if you actually believe he's not going to drive. If you trust that he's actually not going to drive. Okay.
And now what's the answer?
Sayeh, maybe even worse. Maybe the neiver. The sayeh is if he has another way to get a car. But if
Also the favor.
if he has another way, then it's only Messiah. But either way, it's a problem.
So Rabbi,
If your neighbor came from your yard, machine that you cut the grass, and he come and took it on his own on Shabbos to cut his grass, you tell him don't do it?
we call the police.
You know you're not using it, and you know you don't care, because usually during the week, if you're doing it, you don't tell them anything. And you come on Shabbos and...
I don't know. I'm not sure. I didn't see. I didn't see one way or another. I didn't see.
Rabbi, so it's
You can't do work for you with your own kelim. We're gonna see.
Where did
If-
Rav see that?
So-
One second. If it's his own work with your kelim, I don't think you have to be moicha. I don't think so. I have that in my head. I think I saw that somewhere. Sorry?
I don't have to say anything.
I don't think so.
Where did the Rav see? Do you know the source of it? Has to be to believe in it coming back? Or that's so much.
It is pashut. Did I see it? I saw something in Yalkut Yosef today about giving a taxi driver to drive your taxi. Let's see where it was. Ken?
So when family coming from Israel, so it's better giving money to rent a car so you will not borrow your car.
On Shabbos?
Oh no, on Friday. They say you want to take my car,
On Shabbos?
and you said you don't know if he's driving. Maybe he's driving on Shabbat.
Don't give him money either.
No, you don't want to give your family an.
You don't give your car. And you don't give him money.
Problem.
You don't give him
It's a
money and you don't
family,
give him
they will
your
not
car.
talk to you.
Shabbos is Shabbos.
So it's better I give him money to rent the car. So I'm not going to be involved with that
You have to give him money for it.
because
He's poor.
No, if you don't understand, it's a
Look.
bit
And he love muskim. I love muskim.
because you have no family on that point, Yeah,
I don't agree with them because you don't have Israeli family.
No.
You get a couple of Israelis.
yeah, Israeli coming. If you don't give him the car, you have big trouble. Rabbi.
He's saying it's pikuach nefesh. That's what he's saying.
The pikuach nefesh, yes, Rabbi. No, you know.
Okay, I thought I saw it, but I'm not finding it, Yosef. I think it's pashut. Okay. Let's continue.
So what's my answer, Rabbi? Don't
I
give it
gave you
to
my
him
answer.
and tell him to do tshuva.
That's a separate thing, but for sure.
And if they understand, okay. If not,
Okay.
they know it, right?
Okay, let's continue. Mikol Mokim. Im yadua lo shanochu yelechenu hayim l'chus l'tchum. And
Hey.
if he knows that the guy is going to take it out of the tchum, asal hashil b'Shabbos, you're not allowed to learn it on Shabbos. לפי שחפצה של ישראל שהיו ברשוסה בבין השמושס כנס לשוויצה בשוויצסי, תנו 2,000 עמל לכל רוף ליוסר, ואף שאיננו מוזל תחום כלו כמו שאינו מצול שוויצס כלו, בכל מקום, כיוון שכל השוויצה אצלה ואין להם אלא 2,000 עמל אסור להדגים להם בידיים שיובאו חוץ לתחום על ידי שמויסר ביד נוחי, אבל מותר להויסם ולהם ולהשית להם ביעצמי, כיוון שאינם מויסם להם בידיים, יש מתנים ולהם להם בידיים, כיוון שנוחי הוא המציין חוץ לתחום, all right, let me just explain what I just said. If it is an item that the goy is going to take out of the tchum of the city, you happen to know that he lives out of the tchum of the city. He's going to take your item out of the tchum of the city.
On Shabbat or on Friday?
On Shabbat. So now there's a machlokes. Generally, a person's kelim have a tchum. Just like the person has a tchum, you cannot go outside of the city 2,000 amas, or more than 2,000 amas, I should say. So your kelim have that same tchum, meaning to say, you cannot lend your kelim to a Jew who has a different tchum Shabbos because he has an heir of tchumen, or he's from another city and therefore has a different tchum and so on. Even though there's a shared space between you, obviously, if he's here, right? But he's going to go back to his city with his tchum. You can't give him something of yours because he's taking it out of the tchum.
What about
Shabbos.
if he's making like a stop, like every 300 feet,
No.
whatever.
No.
Tchum
Tchum doesn't help to stop. Doesn't help to stop when it comes to tchum. You're at the end of the tchum, that's where you stop.
Also, about if it's in the same city, it's okay.
All in the same city is okay. The whole city is one
We
big
learned
stick.
before. Nothing is living in the property on Shabbat. Any tools?
I'm talking about with an Erev. I'm talking with an Erev. Yeah, I'm talking with an Erev.
And leave my property? Landscaping going outside from my
Not
door?
landscaping. We said nothing with a malacha. Nothing with a malacha. Not with a malacha. You can lend him a chair and it's an Eruv.
Okay.
And even though he's going to take it out of the Eruv, as long as you're not going to see from your house, because the Eruv is beyond seeing from your house. But if it's going to come out outside of the Tchum, then there's an issue. Now, the thing is, Alter Rebbe says, what's the issue? There's no Jew taking out of the Tchum. The Kalim, there's no Isser for Kalim to do Malacha. And there's no Isser for Malacha to happen to them. You understand? So the chair's not doing an Isser. Right? The Goy is not doing an Isser, he's a Goy. So what's who exactly is doing the Isser? And you didn't tell him to take it, he's taking it for his own benefit. Understand? Nevertheless, some forbid it. Because by letting him take it, it's like you're telling him to take it out of the Tchum. Kind of. Let me see his words.
It's like the car. You give him on Friday.
Also, ligrim lahem biyadayim. You cannot cause them to go out of the Tchum. By giving him permission, you're causing it to go out of the Tchum. That's the first opinion. The second opinion says no, because you didn't. Not for you, it's for him.
It's a God.
So therefore, they say it's allowed. That's the main halach. Okay, so far so good. These kalim, we're not talking about kalim that are used for malacha. We just said.
Sure.
Talking about kalim that are not used for malacha. The goy wants to take out the tchum for his own benefit, and you're allowed to lend it to him.
So Rabbi, he can leave your house with a chair working and go to the next street and he put it in his car and he's driving with it? The goy?
Why not? It's not your business.
Yeah, right?
Not your business.
Let's say your AC man came 5 days to your house, fix the AC, and you have the toolbox over there.
His own toolbox he can take.
He comes Shabbos day, say, I forgot my tools over there.
His own stuff he can take, no problem. No, we just finished saying it's only your stuff. Marasan is only applying to your stuff. Exactly, that's why they're not going to have Marasan. Marasan is only when they see it's your stuff, then they're going to think that he's your shliach.
This toolbox can be yours also.
It can be, but they don't know that it is. It's only Marasan if they know it's yours. That's what we said.
In
So we said-
your property.
Harmless is a space that's not quite a private domain, it's not quite a public domain. So for example, if it's not a certain width, if it's not to be, a Rosh Hashanah has to be 16 amas, so if it's less than that, even though it's open, it's not a Rosh Hashanah, so it's called a Karmelis. Some say Rosh Hashanah has to have 600,000 people in it every day. And if it doesn't, even though it's big, it's not a Rosh Hashanah, it's only a Karmelis.
There's no Rosh Hashanah.
Okay, you're lucky.
Belabo also.
I don't know, I'm just a
Probably not, yeah.
You have to check my
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Yesh cholkem al kol zeh. Everything was simple till now. Now it's about to get complicated with the Magen Avraham. Yesh cholkem al kol zeh v'omer. Shafilu b'yom ha'reves. Afilu anochi dor gamken v'okam ha'urev. Also lashi lebeshabbos. Afilu be'erev Shabbos. Kol she'ena yotzem pesach beisim v'od yoim. Sharo isa yotzem beisim Yisrael b'Shabbos. Chayfetz Yisrael b'yodai. Yoimar shemochar loy chayfetz ze b'Shabbos. Oy hilvahu loy. בזמן מרובד, אני יסם למד יום, שנקרא סלווה, הייתי בשבס לשעה שהוא זמן מור כמו שסבור בסמשן זין. או יום הרי שנסענו למשקל, ועשו למשקל בשבס כשסבור שם. או יום רסן לסקלי, ולעשס בה ולאכה, ועשו בשבס שום דבר, ולעשס בה ולאכה, ודוקלונס כפי לקוצים מערב שבס. All right. Comes along the Magen Avraham and introduces a whole nother factor here. The Magen Avraham says, no, not so simple. Even if there is no Erev, there's another chashash. The chashash is... Sorry. Even if there is an Erev, correct. Even if there is an Erev, there's a whole nother chashash. That chashash is that people will think you sold it to him on Shabbos, which is also, you can't do business on Shabbos. They may think you rented it to him on Shabbos, which is aser, obviously can't do business. They may think that you lent it to him for a long-term rental on Shabbos, which is also asur. We're going to see in Siman Shin Zayin. Maybe we will, maybe we won't, but it says in that Siman, or Shin Vav, one of those, it says there that you cannot lend something for a long-term loan on Shabbos because long-term loans are usually written down. One second. I want to clarify. So the problem is that if you're not allowed to lend something for 30 days or longer, and if he leaves the house with your item, people may think that you lent it to him for more than 30 days, which is forbidden. And the last possibility is that people may think that you gave it to him to fix, which you're not allowed to do on Shabbos, even a Kablanus. Yes?
It's not so modern iron. People can assume, but I think about if we prove that it actually I sold it or rented, they can do this, there's no limit. Like a woman coming out of the house, you guess, but I didn't see his wife the whole weekend, so maybe his wife is not home, and that's a woman coming out of his house. So there's no limit, like where are you taking it exactly?
The Chachamim took it, not me. The Chachamim took it. The Chachamim decided when we're going to apply Maras Ayin and when we're not. There's a famous Tshuva of Rav Moshe. Chacham decided. They evaluated certain situations, and they came to the conclusion which situations are going to be considered Maras Ayin.
He says we can't make Maras Ayin.
That's correct.
And then add on top of what they said.
Correct.
And according to that, the person wants to go into the restroom of a non-kosher restaurant. Why is that?
Right. I mean, based on this, Rav Moshe, I don't think it's awesome. I mean,
so you can just sit there and. If I see you right now going to a restaurant, maybe I could assume, I should assume positive points. It's part of the bathroom, but you're still seeing the person going to a different restaurant.
Right, according to what he's saying, so you can't make up more time.
right. B'chol zot, I wouldn't be matter to sit there unless there's some kind of tzorich.
Business meeting?
All right? Exactly. So that's the thing. If there's a tzorich, maybe there's makom lahater. It's all based on this Rav Moshe. I don't think it's pashut, so I wouldn't be matter if there wasn't a need. But if it's a need, there's makom lahater based on this. Okay, so
Ask one last question on what we saw.
yeah,
Pasuk says, "Vayit Mekim and Shem Yisrael."
exactly.
That's what we learned in our time.
I believe so. Yes.
Right. So you can't. You're okay to do something that's looking bad, even though it's not a real hard sign.
I don't know what you're saying.
Meaning, because the pasuk says you should be clean in the eyes of Hashem and before you won't. Even if I'm not doing a real hard sign, or I'm doing something.
What?
I can't understand, but
I don't know what you're saying.
We're going to try to do something very simple. If I'm not, so maybe I'll stop. Vayit Mekim is where we learn Marisan, right? Or that's where they draw whatever Marisan idea. But I still have to fulfill the pasuk. Vayit Mekim Hashem Yisrael. I mean, if someone thinks that I'm doing something wrong, this is probably what I didn't add in the detail. I saw that Vayit Mekim means also, let's say for example, someone thinks I'm doing something incorrect. So I have to inform them that I'm not.
Right. Exactly.
Like if someone doesn't know I made a bracha, so you walk them through, I have to tell them that I made a bracha.
Right.
Because he's going to think it's wrong with me. So why don't I have a chiyuv to, like the example I gave before, of walking to the non-kosher restaurant or these other things, but not from my side. The pasuk itself, I'm not a chiyuv.
You're asking why doesn't Rav Moshe say you should judge each situation accordingly and decide if there's Maras Ayin? That's what you're saying. You're saying it should be that any situation of possibility of chashash should be asr.
That's what I have to understand what the pasuk is. Right? I saw that in halacha say for that person has to be. Yeah, something like that's a pasha of
Right.
act according.
Well, I mean, to be yotze that, you could announce it to anybody that is there. You know what I'm saying? Or any Jew that sees it. Ma'asayin means that even if you don't know if somebody's seeing it, even if maybe somebody will see it,
So
or even if
you
nobody's
walk into
seeing
the
it.
restaurant, you walk out, there's someone looking at you, a Jew, outside looking at you, what's he doing? You can say, well, that.
I mean, that's at least to do that, but I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, that was a good enough answer for me.
Not sure. Not sure.
The problem today is there's so much ignorance that they don't know what is. People that are seeing us, they don't know if that's also wrong or not.
Yeah,
So then maybe we have to be a little more careful.
I hear you. I don't know. Okay, Linyan halacha. What's the halacha? Yesh lahakel b'shayla be'es hatzorch ketzor rishon. One can be lenient in a case of need to lend, like the first opinion, meaning to say if there's an error. But okay, here, this is like a follow-up Marasayan situation. If they follow up, then they'll be Marasayan. So meaning to say, as far as this Machlikas is concerned, according to the Machaber, there's no problem with an Eruv, city with an Eruv. According to the Magen Avraham, there is a problem, either on Shabbos itself or even right before Shabbos. I think you sold it, you rented it, you lent it long term, you gave it to him to fix. So here's the compromise. If you taka lent it to him, which is mutter on Shabbos, so then it's mutter to do right before Shabbos. But if you taka rented it to him, or you taka lent it to him long term, or you taka gave it to him to fix, any of those things, then you cannot give it to him right before Shabbos, even though you didn't do it on Shabbos. But people will later find out that it was a rental, or it was a long-term loan, or it was a sale, or any of these things. And the fact is that they saw him leaving on Shabbos, plus they realized later that it was one of those things. They'll think that you did it on Shabbos. On Shabbos, you can't do those things, right? That goes without saying. So letting him leave in a way that he's going to leave on Shabbos, and people will later find out that that's what it was, is asar. That's the Magen Avraham's compromise.
Is the girl allowed to bring it back on Shabbos?
Yeah.
There's not enough money time.
No. A lot of return stuff on Shabbos, yeah. Okay.
But I think it should work from after all of this form or everything. In the city, no problem.
Yeah. Although, if he brought it from out of the Tchum, if he brought it from out of the Tchum, I don't think you're allowed to use it until after Shabbos. He brought it for you. Brought it for you from out of the Tchum, I don't believe you're allowed to use it until after Shabbos. So maybe it's Pshat he brought it for himself, because he has to return it. I don't know if that's an interesting question. When somebody brings something back to return, is it called for himself because he wants to return, or is it called for you because it's yours? I don't know. Generally, the halacha is, you bring something else out of the Tchum for you or for any Jew on Shabbos, cannot benefit till after Shabbos, b'chdei sheyazeh, plus the time it takes to bring it from out of the Tchum. Okay. All of the above is with objects that belong to the Jew. But if they belong to the guy, and they were a pikadon in the hands of the Jew, and on Shabbos he comes to take it, and they're his, then he can take it out Lushas Aram. There's no Marasayan, it's his own thing. Like we explained in Simshon Chafei, look over there for the rest of these dinim. And the rest of the dinim are, that I remember at least, is that you cannot put it in his hands. Because put it in his hands, you become almost like a partner in his carrying. There's the Akira and there's the Hanacha. So if you put it in his hands, that's part of it. This is the same reason that a delivery guy comes on Shabbos, if there's no Eruv, you cannot take it from his hands. Because taking it is the Hanacha. That's the finishing of the carrying. Similar thing. All right, my friends, we now move on to 247. We are not going to do Shvisas Behemoth. You want to know about plowing with cows or renting out your cows to plow, you will have to learn that on your own. All right, we'll start with the Machaber on Reish Mem Zayin. Shaleach Odom Igeres B'Yad Eini Yehudi Afilu Be'erev Shabbos Im Chashecha V'hu Shekotzos Le'Damim U'B'Vad Shelo Yirmalei She'yelach B'Shabbos. It is permissible to send a letter to the non-Jew even on Friday afternoon as it's getting dark. It's not dark yet. As long as you fix a price with him.
So another one, people ask you about putting in the mailbox before Shabbos and you don't pick it up. It's done soon. You put a stamp, that's it. So you say it's kind of a problem.
Problem or not a problem?
You say it's a problem.
Oh, with an Eruv. Without an Eruv, it's a problem. Without an Eruv, it's a problem.
You mentioned Eruv.
Here's talking about on Friday. You're talking about putting it
on Friday, that he's going to pick it up on Shabbos, so later on, after Sunday,
Exactly.
With the putting the flag on, whatever.
And there's no Eruv.
And you mentioned that it is a problem. You shouldn't.
Yeah, because there you're telling him to do it on Shabbos.
Huh?
There you're telling him to do it on
I'm
Shabbos.
not telling him anything. I just put it over there.
What do you mean? But
I'll put the stamp over there. So
yeah, but you're telling him to do it on Shabbos. His job is to come every day. That means he's supposed to come on, let's say, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. When you put it there after 4 on Friday, that means you are telling him to take it on Shabbos. Correct or incorrect? In this case, you're giving it to the post office on Friday. It's a minute before Shabbos, but you're not telling him when to do any malacha. As far as you're concerned, he could leave it sitting in the post office till Monday morning. You understand? You're not telling him to do it. That's what he says. You can't tell him to walk on Shabbos. Over there, you're putting it in your mailbox, and because the next time he's coming is on Shabbos, you're telling him, in other words, to take it on Shabbos. But his job is to come on Friday, not on Shabbos. He's coming every day. Putting it there, knowing that he's coming, is basically like telling him to take it.
Post office, you know they're going to move this letter on Shabbos.
But you didn't tell him to. That's the whole thing of Kablanus. Kablanus, when he gets paid by the job, as long as you don't tell him to do it, it's okay. Just like a dry cleaner. A dry cleaner, I'm saying, if you give it Friday and you're supposed to pick it up Monday, they're going to do it on Shabbos because they're closed on Sunday. And they're not working on Friday night. They're not working on Sunday night. You understand? Of course they're going to do it on Shabbos. Okay, but I didn't tell them.
My question is, maybe it's the question I asked. If you, not for the post office, you call somebody that needs to pick up a letter or something. Say, okay, you have to pick up this letter. Tell the guy to pick up this letter. It's your check. You leave it in your mailbox. There's no Eruv. He doesn't pick it up. It's Friday. He doesn't pick it up, and it's already Shabbos. He comes picks it up at night. You tell him. Is it allowed to do that?
You told him to pick it up? You told him to pick it up?
Yeah.
But then he had time to pick it up before Shabbos?
Told him afternoon.
It's fine, as long as he had time.
Okay, so I should not remove it from the mailbox.
You don't have to remove it, no. As long as you have time.
It's just like Amira. There's not physically Amira over here. I don't know what is the adding ISO on top of ISO. The ISO is Amira, saying it specifically. Amira, put it in the mailbox, and that's it. There's no melacha, no Amira. So why we have to add on top of what already mentioned, Amira? Like why I have to pantomime? It's also not allowed. It's not even
Absolutely. Pantomime is absolutely not allowed. Of course not. Pantomime. Amira is just an example. All communication is forbidden. All communication, all ways of telling a goy to work for you on Shabbos is not allowed. Whether it's with saying, with writing, with texting, with actions.
a specific Amira.
Amira.
The meaning of Amira is like you tell them what to do. It's meremet, omerev, there's no actually physical words that you tell them. It's not even going to be the same words, it will be a different word you tell.
I don't have a proof right now that it's usher, even though there's no Amir. But I believe it is. I believe that doing something which indicates you want him to do it, even though you don't say anything, I believe is usher, just like saying. Putting it there is like saying. That's what it means. I mean, I don't know who decided it, but whoever decided it 100 years ago, that putting a letter in the mailbox and putting up that thing or just leaving it to stick out, it means that the mailman should take it. That's just what it means. So, I mean, we do have an example out there, we bring in the Shin Zion, that let's say instead of saying something, you have a special way of communication. And when I scratch my nose, then the guy understands that he's supposed to turn on the light. I don't say a word. All I do is scratch my nose. Not allowed. That is not allowed. Out there it says clearly. I'm sorry?
That's a mirror.
It's a different sort of a mirror. It's a mirror with your finger instead of a mirror with your...
You had this signs before.
Okay, so 100 years ago, somebody told the mailman that when there's a thing in the mailbox, that's what it means. It's not the pshat that you told them. If somebody else tells them, it doesn't make a difference. This is what it means. That's what I have in my head as being pashat. I don't have a proof other than that story with the scratching of the nose. But hopefully, maybe we'll come across some proof. I don't know. Okay, we're not going to read further because there's a lot of details in Reish Mem Zayin about letter carrying, and it's not really negea to us because it's talking about situations where there's no fixed pay and he's expecting pay and you didn't decide on the pay. A lot of details. We don't really have that kind of situation. We have basically ktsitsa. All our types of mail delivery and any other delivery is all kontzatz. It's all kablanus, whether it's mail or UPS or not directly to something else. Talking about just all these companies. Exactly. So we're not going to get into those details. Let's go straight to the Alter Rebbe. You're allowed to send a letter or other objects or kalim in the hands of a goy, even on Erev Shabbos, near dark. Now, he has to leave your house before Shabbos. Shomeh? Rani, Shomeh? He has to leave your house before Shabbos. He cannot take it on Shabbos. Let's think about that for a moment.
I think technically, the mailbox is property of the, it's not your property of the.
What about Ben Hashmashos?
Postal service.
Ben Hashmashos is another matter.
That's what it seems like here.
Box is not your property, it's property of the use.
I think he's right.
My mailbox is right next to my door.
I think so. I think that's true.
What does that even mean? I can't take it. I can take it if I want.
No.
It's a.
You can get in big trouble. It's a violation. No.
Maybe you're talking about when they give it to you.
No, we're talking about the actual box, mailbox.
We put things
How's
in.
that different from the case?
No,
of
you
the
have,
IT?
even the box that's outside.
Give it to you. I buy that Oma.
If you're using it for a certain purpose that's federal, it becomes a federal property.
For example, if somebody wants to advertise, they don't want to pay postage, they cannot just go house to house and put it inside. That's not allowed, it's not because that's property of the postal service. 100%.
Once you install your mailbox and it is ready for the receipt of mail, you effectively lease your mailbox to the federal government for the service of mail delivery. Let's not forget that as long as you have an up-to-code mailbox, receiving mail is a free service. Sending mail isn't free. Because you lease your mailbox to the Postal Service, they require that your mailbox meets certain criteria regarding placement, design, and usage. Yeah, that's correct. You're leasing it to them. They don't own it, but you're leasing it to them. So they're like, no, they're giving you a service in return. They're giving you a service. They're delivering your mail.
Part of the taxes that get paid.
Only the bills that actually pay.
Yeah. Part of the taxes.
Even when they're not granting me the service.
They are granting you this. What does that mean?
3 o'clock in the afternoon.
It doesn't make a difference.
The whole morning I want to use it.
Doesn't make a difference. Because it has to be available for them to use. That's the condition that they're. That's an interesting point, actually. That is an interesting point.
Yeah, it's a big enough. Not putting in your Hilchos. You can't use it. They rented a spot in your house. They're in your room.
So we can put the letter of Shabbos over there, we're picking up on Shabbos. It's his.
But it's still within your property also. As far as I know.
But the mailbox,
But now this is a chiddush for you, so maybe a lot of people are, it's
It's written on
chiddush.
Google that they're my new.
And your roommates, now you know. They only don't have money.
It's an interesting thing because if I'm not mistaken, if you give them I think we're going to learn it in Rishon Beis actually. In 252, I think we're going to learn about if you give them a space in your property to leave the stuff, then there is more reason to be lenient to allow them to take it on Shabbos. So maybe this falls into that category. Very interesting. Very interesting. I don't know if this is discussed in the Sefer here, which is more of an Israeli thing.
Didn't we also put on the
Moving to private property.
You're welcome.
So easy.
Okay, I don't see him discussing it here. I'm not sure. Definitely something to think about. All right, my friends. Mutter l'shleich hafetzav igeres shach v'etzem v'chei le'ver nachra. Alter ba'alef, filu be'ev Shabbos and l'shecha. Kol she'yotzeh b'etzach beisa shel Yisrael me'bo'ed yohim. As long as he leaves your house while it's still day, that's only if you had an agreement, a financial agreement, as payment. 1 second, somebody had a question. David, did you have a question? Yaakov, I'd rather just listen to you. Some guys seem to just want to talk and have their voices heard. Anyway, what is the chiddush here? He can't tell him to take it out anyway. That's what this one you're referring to. Okay. David did not have a question. Elisha Feinstein is a prohibition against giving the impression. Chashad is the prohibition of causing others. Okay. Okay, Yaakov sent me a link to an article. I'll send it out later. Let us continue. Okay, we continue and we say, once you have a fixed amount, he's not doing it for you, he's doing it for himself. To receive the payment which you agreed. It does not appear to be an agent of the Jew. Oh yeah, Bein Hashmashas. Somebody asked me about Bein Hashmashas. David, Daniel asked me about Bein Hashmashas. Bein Hashmashas is more lenient, and we will get to that, but not today. You cannot tell him to do it on Shabbos because that is Amira. Even if you tell him before Shabbos. And if you know that he's going there, the only way to get there, for him to get there on Monday, is for him to travel on Shabbos. That's just another way of telling him to do it on Shabbos, and therefore it's not allowed. Aleph. That's all I'm doing. The point is, if you do not tell him to go on Shabbos, and you give it to him before Shabbos as a fixed fee, then it's okay. So a regular piece of mail is no problem. A 2-day piece of mail is also no problem. A regular piece of mail, you show up in the post office on Friday afternoon.
Where did I put it on my?
I'm not talking about putting it there. That depends on the status of a mailbox. I don't know. We'll have to discuss that. In Rishon Beis, he does discuss a section in your house that you designate for the goy. That's something else. So, but for now, l'chura would be us, if not for that point. Something to think about. But in terms of giving it to the mailbox, putting it in the mailbox, or giving it to the post office before Shabbos, fine. Even if it's 2-day mail. Right? It's 2-day mail. For it to come, 2-day mail means you mail it on Friday, it comes on Monday, I guess. Okay, but they don't have to take it on Shabbos. They could take it on Sunday. Between Sunday and Monday, they have time. Anywhere in the U.S., they could take it between 2 days. That's fine.
But you're not working on Sunday.
That's their business. It's not your business. Totally their business, not your business. In the holiday season, they do work on Sunday, but only for like big deliveries. I'm just saying, whatever. That's not your business. On the other hand, when it comes to overnight mail, that's a problem. You cannot overnight something on Friday because you're telling him to deliver it on Shabbos. That is a problem. The only heta that I came across is that perhaps it can be considered Amira to Amira, because you tell the guy behind the counter, and he's going to tell somebody else, who's probably going to tell somebody else, and he's going to tell somebody else. So,
does it continue like that?
No, I think it's just Amir to Amir. I don't think I was just saying that. The fact is, it's Amir to Amira. So it's like a double Darabana instead of a single Darabana, which is also not allowed, but is allowed for cases of a mitzvah or a great need. So what's a great need? That's situational. But maybe there is room to be lenient in a case of a great need, a great financial loss. Financial loss, by the way, is not the same as a lack of gain. Financial loss means an actual loss of money that you have already. So that is a svar that I saw quoted in the Dirshu, I think, from the Memphis Yitzhak. that if it's a great need, perhaps there is room to be lenient, even with an overnight nail situation, because of Amira to Amira. Yes.
Send an email right before Shabbos to Israel. That's all right.
If they are not Shomer Shabbos, no. If they're Shomer Shabbos, yes, you're going to send it to them, and they won't open it till after Shabbos. Why not? I mean, the computer there is going to get it, but the computers don't have to keep Shabbos. For you, it's not Shabbos, so there's no problem. If it's a Jew that doesn't keep Shabbos, unfortunately, and you send it to him in a way that's likely that he's going to open it, then you can't.
Is it something like America? It's 3 o'clock afternoon. Israel is Shabbat. You cannot even.
That's what he's asking. That's what he's asking. Okay.
But Rabbi, if I put something for here for my friends in America, so all my group is seeing it. So this is I should not be worried about if it's going to Israel as well.
Well, don't send it to Israel. What do you mean?
Yes, you got a group for Israel.
Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, now that we're done 246 and 247, we can move on to 252.
The mail's outgoing.
252.
I'm talking about totally outgoing mail, yeah.
252.
What if it was something, what if it was incoming?
You can finish the whole Simanim.
You're leaving on the trip on Sunday, you forgot your passport, someone's emailing, someone's sending your passport to you to arrive on Shabbos.
And that person is a Jew or a non-Jew?
Good Samaritan that found your passport. You don't know.
Oh, and he sent it to you? So the issue is,
And you told
what's the
him,
issue?
know,
You didn't
I'm
do-
leaving, I need to go on the trip on Sunday morning. You're not asking him to send the passport. Right? He found it in the park bench.
if he sent it to you of his own accord, and it arrives on Shabbos, so the guy who delivered it is his shaliach. He's not Jewish. Nobody did anything wrong. Nobody did anything wrong. The only issue is that if it comes from outside of the Tchum on Shabbos, moktzah. Moktzah is, passport is like an important document. It should be moktzah. But that's it. Other than that,
Either right after Shabbos.
I think so. Because it's the shaliach of the guy.
What if he's a
If
Why
he's,
wouldn't that be a case of pressing need? Let's say a Jew sends it to another Jew. He has a flight Sunday morning and he's almost to Shabbos, whatever the case is.
oh, the Amir Damira. Yeah, whenever we allow it because of Shvus to Shvus, then obviously you don't have to work with Teshiyasa. We're not punishing you for doing something that wasn't allowed.
Like you buy something and they deliver on Shabbat.
Yeah, you didn't tell him.
Yeah.
You didn't tell him. But if it's outside the Tchum, then you can't.
We don't know.
What if it's Amazon Prime and you know it's going to go? Say you order it Thursday, so it's come Saturday.
Yeah, but it could come on Friday.
Could come.
Could come on Friday.
Amazon has a feature. You go each address. You put if you want to deliver it Saturday or deliver it Sunday.
Yeah, but you don't have to tell them not to deliver it on Shabbos. If it could come on Friday, you're allowed to let them deliver it on Shabbos. You don't have to stop them. The issue is you can't order it on Friday afternoon if it's according to the schedule, saying according to your Prime. What does Prime mean? How's fast it's supposed to come? Okay, 2 days is okay on Friday. Because then it will come, you're not telling them.
No.
Sunday.
2-3 days, rather. 2-3. No, 1 day.
If it's a 1 day thing, you can't order it on Friday afternoon.
It should be 2 days. From California.
I get Saturday.
From California. It is 2 days.
Right, exactly. Here's the question. if you have prime, and it's supposed to come, let's say it's a Yontif, Thursday, Friday, Shabbos, Yontif. You order it on Wednesday, you're telling them to deliver it on Yontif. That's not allowed. You have to tell them specifically, I'm happy for you to deliver it within 4 days, 5 days, whatever. And then they could deliver it another one.
I think there's options for that.
Sorry?
There's options to extend the delivery.
Right.
They can either get home or whatever, right?
Right.
You could tell
Exactly.
them when to deliver.
As long as you give them that
As long
option.
as it's after.
Right. Okay, Reish Nun Beis. Reish Nun Beis. We have 4 minutes. Let's get started in Reish Nun Beis. Sif Aleph discusses all kinds of issues which are not about Amir L'Nochri. Machaber. Oh, it starts off with the mailbox issue. So here it is, perfect. It's in Reish Nun Beis, like the 6th line, 7th line of the Machaber.
Someone else starting from the beginning?
No. You're allowed to sell to a non-Jew and load him up before Shabbos. Load him up, put all the stuff on his back to carry out before Shabbos. He has to leave your door before Shabbos. Either we're middle.
Middle of the sentence.
Yes. As long as he's going to leave your house before Shabbos. First of all, because it shouldn't look like he's carrying as a result of you. Second of all, like we said before, for the Magen Avraham, it looked like he sold it to him on Shabbos, all those things. Says the Ramah, Yesh matirin sheyotzia any Yehudi b'Shabbos im yichad lo ya any Yehudi makam b'oid yom b'beis Yisrael. Some allow the Gentile to take it out on Shabbos if you had designated a space within your house for the object of the non-Jew. Yesh la'achmer, nevertheless, we should be machmer. Okay.
Why is that from the end of the space?
Because the beginning is about Shvisas Kalim and not about Amir Levach.
Oh, good. I'm allowed to put my washer just before Shabbos and let him run during Shabbos.
Did we learn this? We learned that first time, right?
Yeah, we mentioned it already, yeah.
No, I'm saying in the last semester.
In Reish Nun Vav, he discussed it also. But I don't know if it's the same over here. The Ramah is talking about a case where it's the Jew's house, and he set aside a space for the guy, and some say it's mutter because that space makes it as if it's the guy's house. But in the case of the post office, where it's legally actually leased to the post office, this is more than just a yichud makam. It could be that this is actually considered their property and therefore mutter. Okay, something for me to look into, B'li Neder, for tomorrow night. If it's Hashem, we'll continue with Reish Nun Beis. And not too many, don't worry. By the way, somebody asked me about making summaries and writing up what we learned, and everybody is more than welcome to do that. And please share with me if anybody would like to make summaries of what we're learning and write it up, whatever. Everybody's more than welcome to do that. I would be happy to edit it and send out that over. But in any case, what were you saying? Somebody said something? No. Oh, which seifim you're asking? In the Machaber, we're going to do.
Maybe, is there any way maybe after we finish like a Siman, just give like a couple points of, just a summary?
Yeah.
A 10-minute, 15-minute summary after we finish the Siman?
I could, but we're going through them so quickly, but I guess.
And or even at the end of the night.
No, you say pretty much like that.
I didn't have it yet.
9:30 summary.
Beis Gimel and Dalet in the Machaber. We're going to learn tomorrow night, if it's Hashem. And in the Alter Rebbe,
Great.
Yeah, I know it already.
You wanna go on?
Do you know when volume 3 of the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch for Shabbos is coming out?
1 second, give me 1 second, please. As far as what we're going to do in the Alter Rebbe, tomorrow we're going to start with Beis, and I don't think we'll go all the way through, but it does go on until Yud Gimel. We'll get as far as we can until Yud Gimel. All the best. Have a good night. What were you saying, Yossi?
I was just asking if you know when volume 3 of the Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch in English is coming out for Shabbos.
I don't know.
Also, was your father-in-law in New York for the Kinnis?
Is my father-in-law? No, I'm sure he's not.
I just thought I was looking through the group photo, and trying to spot as many people as I knew.
No, he's not there. He never goes for the Kinnis.
Okay.
Okay, all the best.
Good night, thank you.